Hi, Lenata Yasuna Dubaraya Sandariata. Hi, Liz. Hi, Matt Tash. How are ya? Hey, Phoenix. Greetings. Good to see you again. Hi, Shannon. It's good to see you again. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing, Kelly. Hi. Hi, Donna. Hi, Winky. Hi, Patty. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Always good to see you. I love the mushrooms in the forest vibe, right? It's pretty cool, right? Some wizard vibe going on. That was pretty cool. I had it on by default when I jumped onto a live. I'm like, oh, that's appropriate. I'm well, thanks, Phoenix. How are you feeling today? Hi, new NRJ. We'll just call you new. From Ukraine. Oh, awesome. How are you feeling over there in Ukraine? Crystalline? Let's see. People are asking to invite me to things. Man, I see you. I see you sneaking, girl. How you been? You know, I've been thinking about you. So you've come to my awareness a few times. So I've been meaning to check in on you. I totally left you hanging on that text a long time ago. I'm so sorry. I always do that though. You're like, you know what to expect from me. You're going tonight? Okay, yeah, Debbie. Yeah, if you want to get ahead of it. So we're gonna have like we'll say 4 or 5 slots. We'll say 4 or 5 slots. But just as a heads up, if you know, by 2 or 3 or 4 into it, I'm not feeling that great. Like I don't want to overexert myself. So as long as people are aware that may happen, I can either refund people or we can put them to another time, or I can do a recorded transmission and help people out with that as well. Better with a fever? No, Kelly. Hey, Space Wizard, what's up? Space Wizard to Space Wizard. I love it. I think that's so funny. That was so funny. I think it was like the first time I even put Space Wizard up, just kind of like as a joke, and then y'all joined. I was like, what? I was like, that's funny. I'm like, there must be. It was a graphic too, so like I'm sure the algorithm like scans or something, like the AI and TikTok scans, you know, any like text in the background or something. It's just too crazy. Hi, Harley Quinn. Was in the hospital for a day. That's how the universe works. But yeah, you call me right. That's right. A wizard is never late or early, right? They arrive precisely when they're meant to. Hi, Nia. Thanks for sharing, Shannon. Thank you for subscribing. Good to see you, Derek. Yeah, so I don't have a graphic for it. We can just, the graphic that I do have is for like transmissions. So what we're doing is actual healing today. So I want to focus on emotional and physical healing, you know, healing with a specific intention. So, and that intention could be just whatever is for your highest good. I really like to work on things where we can have some kind of measurable results. And of course, if we feel better, that's measurable as it is, right? But I just think it'd be fun to do it in this space. Hi, Boo. Good to see you. Thank you for subscribing, Robyn. But I think that would be, I think it's just fun because usually when I do transmissions in this space, it's like a transmission. And I'm doing so many things at once that it's really like, there's not a lot, like I want people to kind of learn from what I'm doing. You're not learn, but like, see the recipe that I'm cooking and the ways that I do it, and then they can take their own, like take the ingredients that they like, or the recipe if they like it, and they can use it in their own recipe, in their own cooking, right? So I'll just kind of go through the process of how I do things and see what comes through for people. So if people are interested in, oh, you know what, I need to turn on my, I'm sorry, I might get cut off for a second. I'm sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so it's, yeah, I mean, I can take Venmo or Cash App as well. But yeah, PayPal's best because it already puts it in as a donation. Did I forgot, so I got Robyn now. Did anybody submit prior to Robyn? Because I felt like somebody said, because if we already got 3 spots. Sorry, let me scroll back. I mean, I'll take other donation. If you do it through Venmo or Cash App, that's fine too. You can go to the link in my bio. I would prefer PayPal, just because it's already sent in as like a donation, and the way these work is kind of like a logistics thing, and I like to stay kosher. So, but either way, it's all the same idea. It's all the same. You slept like a rock. Awesome, Alicia. Debbie wanted to. Okay, I got you, Debbie. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember if that's... Yeah, so I'm not sure if it came in or not. I should have my iPad. Let me just grab my iPad real quick. Oh, we got Angela. Yeah, and just like keep in mind, like what, you know, bring into your awareness what kind of intention you want to focus on too. Yeah, so right now it sounds like Debbie, Robyn, and Angela. But I'm not sure if Debbie has submitted it yet. This way I can look while without having to close the thing. Oh, unless it's dead. It's dead. Let me plug this real quick. I apologize. I was not prepared. I was running late. I was trying to get our the logistics for our light linguistics class figured out because we had to reschedule it. So I wanted to make sure I did that first because that was a priority. I only caught the last 10 minutes or so, but conked. Awesome, Rachel. So just so far, I definitely have Robyn and Angela. I'm not sure if anybody else donated, but I will check real quick once I load up on the iPad. But if you did submit, please let me know. Please let me know. We'll get you hooked up. Okay, Debbie and Liz. Okay, yeah, let me just check to make sure I get it real quick before I fill it up. Why is this taking so long to start? Hi, Barbara Ray. Yeah, how are you feeling today? I'm a little bit earlier. I'm used to saying night. How are you feeling tonight? It could be night wherever you're at. Oh, I did get Debbie. Okay, we got you, Debbie. Good, awesome. Hey, Moon, I saw your email. I haven't had a chance to reply back. I didn't actually get a chance to fully read it either, so I didn't want to, I didn't want to rush it. But I hope you're doing well. It sounded like you were doing well from the little blurb it showed me. Congratulations. You got it, sister. You got it. You always did. You always have it. All in divine timing, as they say. But I'm glad things are definitely helping you. That's awesome. So important. What is wrong with this, man? Of course I'm having issues. Yeah, I got you, Debbie. We got you, sister. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Good time just to get grounded. If you have any questions, I'm happy to provide perspectives. Like, nothing's loading in any of them. I might have to just double check on my phone real quick because I don't know what's going on. But I will freeze for a second when I do that. Oop. Oop, did it change its mind? Okay, I might have to just check on here. It doesn't want to load. All right, one sec. I will freeze. Maybe I can make a funny face. Oh, and we got Derek too. Awesome, okay. I think that'll be... Oh, come on, man. It's funny, it's all... What is going on? We're having a lot of interesting technical difficulties today. Yeah, we got you, Derek. So I think we got 4. Okay, Kim. Okay, we got you, Kim. Kim Brink. Yeah, we got you, Kim. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Just wanted to double check. So we've got what I've got so far. I've got Debbie, Robyn, Angela, and Kim. Is that everybody, or did I miss anybody? And if technically we could squeeze one more in if I'm feeling okay, but we can just get that later if we want. But yeah, we'll go ahead and close the list. Barbara, you're here. You didn't submit a donation, did you, Barbara? Looking for those that had submitted. So I think we're good. I think we got everybody. Awesome. Sweet. So what we are doing, just for those that might be joining right now, let me just go ahead and change the background. All right. My tripod holder broke, so hopefully this doesn't fall all over the place. These things, man, can be sassy. It breaks so easy. This is like kind of an expensive one too. All right, cool. So what we're doing today is we are doing quantum healing today. So yeah, like the little thing that holds it kind of broke. So we're always doing quantum healing, of course, when we do our transmissions, but usually what we do is we do a transmission that brings through healing. So it's kind of like we stick to a bit of a protocol where we do a number of things, and then we go into the transmission, which will bring through further healing, activations and upgrades. So it's usually a combination, and a lot comes through for it. So it can be a little intense, but it's a little harder for people to kind of grasp what's coming through right away because so much can come through and download, and so much, and it's really intense on me as well at times. So we wanted to try something a little bit different and just focus on healing. So today we have a list of 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask for an intention for those that are on the list. So if there's a certain area of healing that you would like to focus on, that would be great. That's not necessary, of course. You can just set, whatever is for your highest good, and then I'll share what comes through. And I'm kind of wanting to use it as a bit of a demonstration as well to show, kind of the process that I use, because I use a lot of different processes actually. There's a lot of different tools and techniques that I use in different situations and in different contexts, and it's so real, or whatever it is that we're focusing on as well. So I wanted to kind of show that, and so that people can get an idea, and if they want to use some of the ingredients that I use in my recipe to make their own recipe, that's kind of what I want to do it for, because that's what helped me. So and it still helps me. That's what I choose to do, is I look at all the healers. There's so many different modalities and ways of doing things. There's not one template that we use that, for healing. Like energy healing is really about like imagination and play and like intention, and there's so many different ways to do that. So yeah, that's what we wanted to focus on today. Sorry, Samantha. So I apologize. That's the way that my mind works. So my eyes are very connected to my multidimensionality. So we hold thoughts, and we can tune into more ideas by moving our awareness in the field. So like stereotypically, when they're thinking, they're trying to connect with different frequencies that are higher in their field. When people are sad or they're like disappointed, they're connecting lower, where these lower vibrational feelings are. So for me, my eyes are my whole body is very connected to my multidimensionalities, to my spirit. So for me, that's why I look around a lot when I'm trying to tune into more information, because I'm technically channeling. It's a form of channeling. So I'm always channeling through my higher consciousness, and it's easier for me to do that and more natural for me to do that. So it doesn't put so much pressure on my eyes. To have to force my eyes to do things can kind of be a little uncomfortable on my end. But just trust that what you're going to get the information that's appropriate for you, because there's more information that's being transmitted. The codes are more than just coming through my eyes, or coming through my field as well. Yeah, I appreciate you too. I'll try to do my best to look at the camera when I can. All right, so does that sound good? So first, we have Debbie up first. Debbie, did you want to focus on anything specific, or do you want just whatever's for your highest good? Whatever's for your highest good. Okay, so I will provide feedback when I do the work here, because sometimes, like with me, I don't dive too much into the stories. That's kind of my thing, is that I dive into like the core frequency that's creating any kind of misalignments. And so that core frequency can have many costumes that it wears that can play out in our reality as these stories. You know, it could be, you know, certain emotions connected to it or whatever, but really those are held within our field. So if we get to those core frequencies and shift out misalignments and distortions in the field, then we come into more alignment and we feel better. So if they give me downloads though, I will share those downloads. If there's any kind of specifics come up, I will do that, because sometimes it is helpful to know. But for the most part, we're just going to make you feel good and shift out anything that doesn't belong. Sound good? So what we're going to do for everybody that's open to receive at this time, we are going to help build out a diamond pillar. This is just, you can consider the idea of protection. I don't like to call it that, but it just makes sure that we're working with the right coding, and you know, we're able to heal in our own field. And it's just a layer of sovereignty that we like to establish. So if you're open to this idea for your highest good only, just feel free to relax. You don't have to follow what I'm describing at all. Just if you have the intention that you want to receive and build out your diamond pillar and a grid around you, then that'll take place. For those that are receiving today, that are on the list, we are definitely assisting you for sure with your diamond pillars and with the grid around you in the physical space as well. So we're just going to bring our awareness to the center of our brain, and a geometry is going to be established. It's kind of like a code that's like a key that helps build out this diamond pillar. It's part of our organic architecture. So we're going to ask for the appropriate geometry and the appropriate spin rates for each individual. And it's going to move down through the central pillar. So it's going to move down from the center of the brain down through like the spinal column. It's going to be cleansing through that hara line as it moves down. And at its own pace, everybody's a little bit different. It's going to eventually go all the way past the feet, and it's going to stop about a foot below the feet. And this star, usually it's a 6-pointed star or a star tetrahedron, or even more multidimensional, depending on the template. Not very many people, but some people, which is why I like to always mention that, is because sometimes if we think that everything's supposed to be a certain way, then if we're different, then it can really mess things up. So just know that you're unique and you're different, and that's totally cool. And so this is going to spin up at that bottom platform. There's an energy center there that we share, and it's going to eventually build out a platform of liquid light. And this light is going to rise up through a cylinder, like in a cylinder shape, around the body and through the body. And it will rise up about a meter or so above the head. And this light is just going to continue to build up through the body until it's nice and solidified. And when it's appropriate, we're going to move that geometry from the bottom platform right back up the way that it came down. And it's going to move through the energy centers, and we're going to ask to activate the energy centers for those that are receiving today. We're going to ask to activate the in-body, the particle energy centers, and also the morphogenetic, the out-of-body, multidimensional energy centers, whatever is appropriate for each person that's receiving today. And that is going to rise up to the top of that cylinder of light. It'll stop, it'll spin up again, and then it'll build out another platform. And that like vacuum seals you into this structure. So this is part of our organic structure. We have a number of different structures around us, part of our diamond light body. And then for each person, we'll do it one at a time, but we're just gonna set the intention now that when we go to each person, we're going to give their consciousness a code, or we're gonna activate a code in their physical space, which is gonna build out a set of structures, a grid. It's going to help hold space where they're at physically. So we're gonna do that right now for Debbie. And we're going to send a couple of dragon aspects over to the physical space as well. They're going to keep the harmful things out and the helpful things in. We're going to ask each individual that's open to receive today too, that is stimulating this in themselves with energetic spillover, that we're going to ask for protection. I don't like to say protection, but we're going to ask for our homies to be in that space just to keep things in diamond purity and keep anything that doesn't belong out, because we're really wanting things to be nice and good stuff. We want it to be good stuff. We're going to place a code inside of an octahedron. We're going to place this octahedron, that's an orange octahedron, we're going to place in Debbie's heart space. We're going to do the same for mine. This is going to activate our transmission centers. And then I'm going to ask everybody's highest selves to step in. We're going to ask any guides and aspects that are relevant for whatever needs to come through for each individual today, for their highest good only, of course, to step up. We're affirming in the transmissions, in the healings, and following that no harm is going to be done, no energy will be taken that is not freely given out of love. It'll be in alignment for the highest good of all only, with energies, with aspects that are in alignment to the sacred law of love. So organic coding, only the highest organic light. We're working directly with the highest self of each person, but whoever they choose to work with, regardless, we're asking that it's only with these parameters. I ask you as well to set your own parameters for receiving. Not everything is for everyone, so please use your own discernment. I mean the best, and I truly do, but you never know what can take place, so just trust yourself and trust the process, and whatever comes through is always, for the highest good only. All right, so Debbie, I've got a little hologram here that I'm going to pull up. I'm intending to connect to you, Debbie. Which, when I do this, if I need to be guided to certain parts of the body, I can feel that on my little hologram here, and I can also interact with it. And then I'm just going to connect to Mother Earth. I'm going to pull a frequency into my heart, Sirius into my heart, and place a code in your heart. We're going to flow some love into your heart space and plug in a set of healing frequencies. Ask that to go for a bit here, and then I'm just gonna see what comes through. So we're just going to ask to be guided to whatever is for your highest good today, since that was your intention. Just feel your body relax as much as possible. I recommend to relax your eyes, relax your jaw. You don't need to watch me because sometimes you can actually get visions. And a lot of people do get visions, so I recommend just to be really present with how you feel and relax. Just working on some stuff here around the right temple. And I like to work with the body, the holographic energy field, because everything is held within our energy field, and depending on the frequency, like the type of frequency, it's going to be held in different parts of the field. So we can kind of, we can decode what's going on through where things are taking place in the energy field, because it's all represents something. So we're in the right eye area right now. Eye is really about vision. It can be about overthinking. In the head, we can be overthinking. I really don't like to get too much into the stories, but sometimes it's relevant. But unfortunately, the thing with stories is we can get really stuck. We can buy into the stories, and then we'll hold on to those stories, and we'll keep telling the stories, even a lot of times after we've received the healing. And what that does is it remanifests it into our reality. So if we can really let go of the stories, it's a really important part of moving on. Doesn't mean that you let go of the experiences to all together. You still have your experiences, but to hold on to that energy of it is retuning into it, and it can remanifest it at times as well. So we're getting a big release here from that right side of the temple, right eye. Working some stuff connected to the sacral. Apologize if I burp a lot and I yawn. How I help to release energy. Maybe doing that on your end as well, or having an emotional release. Really working here on the sacral. And if for whatever reason you get disconnected for those that are on the list, or if something comes up, please reach out to me after, and we'll make sure that we get you hooked up. I may end up just doing, I think I'm gonna do them anyway in the order that was, in this order. So we can just give you the recording afterwards if you don't make it. You'll still receive the healing, of course. And you can even go back and play it. It can actually be beneficial to play it back as well. Still working here in the sacral, a bit in the back, but also in the front too. So it's connected, and the root. And in honesty, there's connections here to the reproductive organs. The heart, it's connected to the heart. Could be, some emotions connected with programs associated with reproductive organs. It could be sexual trauma. It could be all sorts of stuff. I'm not quite getting downloads on it. Good. So between the root and the sacral and reproductive organs. Sikana kuran tanana kukwara yata raiswa. La harut usor yashanuritasi rahatar yantorto bisirya. Ritiaria tonana tutatswa tore biashi tarika yeraki mantari dusia tuya payakni. Tiakini kalana anora maritor yuvasor yashana. So this is often also called like light weaving. I like to call it like code crocheting too, like light weaving, spell slinging, code crocheting, because sometimes what we're doing is we're rebuilding the structures. The different structures. There's more, we have more than just the physical body as a structure, of course, but then we have more subtle structures as well. People can sometimes identify those as like energy centers, like chakras, or meridians, like different grids, and we have energetic systems as well. So sometimes we're like literally like reweaving structures. We'll remove stagnation, we'll remove discordant frequencies and programs, and then we will essentially like weave together new structures. It's like patching up. Get some good release here. Mak buak warine ya. Tak wila itayaran no maturi asha. Ni kraki ku ka kora tu frantana. Para monsora tarrasia. Marature ashutar yesendu tatar yakan kutu ko swariana. Rinini ne hatar yana tatu atata yera yewari marudut. Sheburit por yisui tu tanandor to sata arashitu etwariashna kutu ku kberaki prakimar kodara peste per yara kodara kidia. Georgia, you're funny. Welcome, stick around. We would love to have you ask some questions, or be open to feeling. If you just open yourself up and maybe just like pay attention to the way that you feel, you might notice some interesting things. I wish it was a grip. That'd be way easier. I wouldn't put myself through so much crap. Rainbow sanim poroto sareshe uratama urati frasi prashina karasi was what sanim the pagier korea nandoria prasuha arrasa narrative. So there's some stuff going on with the knees, and a lot of times we hold like ancestral stuff in the knees, but it's definitely still connected to the sacral root as well. So I don't know how your knees are. Left knee is like buzzing like crazy. Oh, thank you for the gifts. I missed it. Thank you. And thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you. Hi, Quantum Weirdo. Love your name. Thank you, Eileen. I appreciate you. makana ukura hakwana towe puasini suwa wakuri ukur kasura sura usura yeshina sari saninto uta mariese te wa reina sa te nene orasa tara usura yasa ta pura ti miari ti yasa tani akata rasa Satu mahari tani bura sahu kokor kanu se achire torisi. And for those that are also open to receive today, I recommend to have water nearby as well. Mahatu koakwe na hiretu iswa hakira su ani mahatu rosa. Peretu riasura tatatatu iswanin kurakusu iswati yatia. Ma ureturu afaratambure po atswartasire she urchu saruhandur. Rahundara gutarrasu tariesu tuarranturetiesa. But I used to yeah, it seems like what we're really focusing on for you today, Debbie, is the sacral. And programs associated with the sacral. If you're not familiar with the sacral and the root, I recommend just to do some research and see what resonates with you. I don't know if you have certain things going on, emotionally or mentally. There's different. I always call things programs that are associated with that, right? So the root is a lot about security and physicality, stability. It's also deeply connected with the reproductive system as well. Same with the sacral. It's like the creative center. It's emotional center. So a lot of relationships are connected to it, and it's also deeply connected to the reproductive system. Creativity, like creation. Yeah, a lot of the lower, you could have lower back stuff going on. I guess it could be lower back. It might not be sacral. Just calling it the sacral, the lower back area. Stability. Yeah, okay. Root and sacral stability. Safe in the body. Thank you, Eileen. Getting there. Yeah, and that's the thing too as well with these sessions that we're doing today is that I'm being guided through the highest self of the recipient. So it's not like I make decisions on how long it takes or, when we start and stop, obviously when we start, but what we move through. So just be patient. It's kind of one of the only hesitations that I have to do it in this way is just well, what if it takes forever, but we're always working through different things, so it's hard to say, but I just trust the process. I trust that we respect each other's energy and such. All right. And with some aspects of the higher consciousness. Not quite, even higher than the soul. Heart, higher self-integration. Yes. Connecting with more of self. Right. Again. Confirm. Confirm. All right, what I'm gonna do for each person as well is I'm gonna take out a code. So this is like a pre-programmed code. It's like loading an app almost. You can call it a spell. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a golden sphere that I place a code within. And this is like an automated healing. It's using Lemurian healing frequencies. I'm gonna put it in the recipient's heart. And you're welcome, Debbie, to guide it towards a specific intention if you want. But otherwise, it's just gonna go where it's needed most to get you where you need to be today. So I'm just gonna hand it to you. I'm just gonna hand it to your higher self, and they can put it in their heart if they want it or not. Good. Okay, and then we're gonna do a grounding code here. Help to ground you to a higher density. Boom, 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 boom. All right, Debbie, you'll have to let me know how you are feeling. Oh, is that how lucky you got my gold foil ball and Lemurian aquatine calcite? Oh, dope. That sounds dope. Protopia. Oh, thank you, Eileen. I appreciate you. All right. Nate asked, do you ever get into astral projection? Yes. I don't consciously do it as much anymore just because it's exhausting. I appreciate you, Liz. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing it all the time. So there's there's different experiences of astral projection and what you're projecting into depending on the frequencies of like what's going on. I mean, it's like, I don't know how to really explain it, but there's just so many different realms. It's not just like one astral. There's like just so many different experiences in the astral realms, and then even higher. So yes, I do. For a while I practiced conscious astral projection, which I stopped doing because it kind of got to be too much on me, and stuff would follow me back. Because what would happen is I'd go astral project and I would go way deep into the universe and like lose consciousness. And so I wouldn't be that conscious. You know, I would lose like energy, and I would kind of like slip into like a lucid dream, not even quite, like more of a dream state. And in that state, wherever I'm at, I'm more susceptible. So I was having stuff follow me back to my house. Like my house was like practically like haunted. There was all sorts of crazy stuff happening. And I was just exhausted all the time. So I just stopped doing it. And then once I tried to do it again, I had so much going on. I haven't really been able to do it too well. I honestly just haven't tried. The Himalayan salt water. Yeah, I do that already. I thought maybe you mentioned that, Trixie, because I have recommended that myself. So I'm glad that you recommended it. And I could use some more actually, Stace. I'll put some more YouTube videos up, Nessie. I haven't put much up on YouTube at all. I should post the lives back on there. I'll post this one afterwards. What's happened though is like I do a live, and I want to take the recording from the lives and put it on YouTube. But as soon as I take it out, like when I put it in the app editor, I want to cut it up a little bit, like make it a little bit better. And when that happens, it's not a consistent frame rate, I guess, in TikTok. So the sound gets off sync. So it's really annoying. Oh, thank you, Trixie. How are you feeling today? Yeah, I do got a bottle. Thank you.
You have a bottle?
Yeah. Debbie, how are you feeling? Okay, there you go. Release of emotion while you worked on root and sacral, body vibrated, felt the temp drop. Yeah, the temperature drop's actually a good thing. That's a good sign. That's where you actually want to be in healing, is that you want that coolness. If you have heat, that's okay, but the heat is there to like shift the energy. So it will it's like when things are changing is usually when we'll heat up. So that's awesome. Yeah, I know emotions aren't always fun to process. Thank you. But that's a great sign. Yeah, it's oftentimes, especially with the root and sacral area, for sure. You're most welcome, Trixie. Good. I'm glad you're feeling good. Thank you, Light Inspired. It was actually a gift. Somebody made this specifically for me. I don't think they're on TikTok. And they're kind of like they're kind of like secret. Like he kind of likes to hide in the shadows for now. He's like kind of afraid to, not afraid to come out, but he's kind of coming out. So he's awesome though. That's so much better on my body to do it like this instead of the transmissions. I could do a whole bunch more of these. I could do this all day. All right, Robyn is up next. But I would love to hear over time how you're feeling, Debbie. Just keep in mind, this work can sometimes, there can be an integration process with it at times. So recognize that, you know, down the line, sometimes emotions may come up to the surface. Now, with this particular type of healing that we're doing, it's not so common. With the transmissions that we do, that's where a lot can come through, like down the line, like with like upgrades and activations. Those can kind of like sneak up on you, and there's a lot that you go through when you're doing that, which is why I'm kind of trying to take a break from it so I can actually allow myself, because I go through stuff too, big time. So so it shouldn't be a problem here, but does this work on the rest of us too? Yes. So this is the analogy I like to use. So this is why I do it in a public setting like this. There's a number of different reasons, but if it didn't benefit others, I wouldn't. But what we're doing is we're doing like healings on specific people. We're doing quantum healing. You can call it whatever. There's different modalities that we use. But it's for one person, and they can have a specific intention, or they can have whatever is for their highest good. Now, what it's like, what it's doing is essentially like, it's like I'm never doing the healing, right? It's always the recipient that is I'm helping the idea to stimulate healing in the recipient, and then they do the healing, right? There's like an inspiration of frequency that they can utilize. So it's like writing and performing a healing song for one specific person. Thank you so much for the roses, y'all. It's like writing and performing a healing song for one specific person in the room. So, but that doesn't mean that other people in the room don't hear the music, right? You can still have an emotional response to the music. You can still resonate with the lyrics. So in that way, if we're working on certain areas of people's body or on certain programs and certain individuals, a lot of times that can be stimulated in others as well. And so when we've done this a bunch of times, and we've had people come to us and be like, yeah, I received healing, and I still don't have problems, and we were working on somebody else. So because it's always an inside job, and the codes that we use, all the quantum coding, the light codes, light linguistics, it is so much more multidimensional than humans like realize. Like we want to put things in boxes, like we want to put limits on it. That's why it's not like language like as we know it. It's like more pure frequency. And these codes, often when people perceive them, they're living. They're essentially living light codes is what they're called. And it's like it's like little tiny like aspects of my consciousness that are undulating in geometry, which is the code, and that is what can have the effect. So it's like it can be used in so many different situations and different with different individuals and across time and space. So it's kind of far out for people to kind of grasp their heads around. The human has a hard time with it, but you'll get it. I know it's weird, but I'm happy to answer questions. But that's what makes it such a powerful tool, is that it's not so human limited. Like that's why we call it magic, is because it's a form of technology that's so different from what we can perceive that we just call it magic. It's just technology. There's logic to it. There's ways to understand it, but it's so literally we can't understand it in this physical reality because these are multidimensional codes. They're working on layers that we can't perceive. Like you can't describe like a fifth dimensional shape to a three-dimensional mind or fourth dimensional mind. It's just impossible. There's no way to translate it. And for those that have experimented with like plant medicines and you've seen these geometries, you go, oh, that's when you realize, you go, oh, okay, now I get why, person. So anyway, all right, Robyn, are you ready to rock and roll? You feel so much better? Awesome, Carrie. Energy never dies, it changes form. Absolutely, Lily too. All right. And thank you so much for the gifts, everyone, while I was blabbing away. Phil says, I'm loving the bracelet that I ordered from you. It's been helping a lot. Awesome. Yes, this is essentially technology. And I'm happy to explain it later, but I want to make sure I get to Robyn. Awesome, Robyn. Hi, hello, Evian. Okay. Something, I felt like there's something I was going to say. No. Okay. All right, Robyn, you ready to rock and roll? Robyn, do you want to focus on something specific, or do you want just to whatever comes through for your highest good, like whatever your higher consciousness wants to focus on today? Casey, is this the new time? I'm not sure. No, we're doing. If you're considering, if you're talking about like Friday Night Lights, this is something different. We're just doing healing today. Hey, Salome. What the necklace does is essentially help to move energies. It's copper, and to hold frequency, to facilitate a certain frequency based on the geometries of it, and also the, what do you call it? Twisting, twisting of the copper. But copper is really good at moving energy. Highest good. Okay, awesome. How do I pay? Beth, we're currently, our list's full today. I may do another depending on how I'm feeling. This is a little bit different format than when I usually do transmissions. We're doing healing. So we're focused on healing, like mental, physical, emotional healing. So it's not like the transmissions I normally do, which are really intense, honestly. There are a lot of upgrades and activations are a part of that. And we're really not focusing on upgrades and activations. That can happen naturally by healing, but for the most part, we're just bringing through healing. How do you get your jewelry? Go to islingmagic.com. You can go to the link in my bio, and I have the information in there, but islingmagic.com. And it explains how it all works there too as well. All right, so we're gonna work with Robyn here. And she said whatever is for her highest good. So we're just gonna reaffirm that we established that grid around her space, and we ask our dragon friends to watch over the space, keep the harmful things out and the helpful things in. And then we're just reaffirming those parameters of no harm, no energy taken, only in alignment for the highest good of all. Only those that are open to receive will receive, and only what's meant for them. And we're only working with codes, aspects, energies that are in alignment to the sacred law of love, the sacred law of one. So only organic consciousness. No offense to non-organic consciousness. We love you just the same. But yeah. So we're just gonna, let me scrub out Debbie's hologram real quick. Pull up another hologram for Robyn. Entangle it. There's a code in your heart. We're gonna blast your heart. We're gonna open the heart, really open the heart. We're gonna plug in those healing frequencies for you. A whole little package of them. We're gonna ask that to run for an hour. I'm just gonna tune in to see if there's any like pre-programmed codes that they want me to use. Just jump into it. Okay, we're just gonna jump into it. Let's see what comes through for you. Just feel your body, relax as much as possible. You don't have to watch me. Relax your eyes. You can even have your eyes closed. You may have emotions come up to the surface. Lean into whatever it is that you experience. Any intensity. Ooh, some weird sensations in the throat, like throat area. Like, that was weird. It felt like something was literally in my throat, or my neck, like right here. I'll probably be burping and yawning. Oh, yeah, I might gag. I'm sorry. This might be intense. I apologize. I can't, I don't know. I'll try not to, but. It's a good sign, though, if I'm... Come on. If you're sensitive, I recommend to like plug your ears or look. Try my best, not gag, just a burp. I'll take a yawn. I'll take a yawn. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on in your throat. Do you have throat issues or anything? Maybe it's a little too intense for me to tune in right now, so I'm just trying to release it. Oof. Okay, has some relationship to the sacral as well. Could be a significant trauma of not being able to speak up on something that took place that could be related to, you know, sacral is often a lot about, you know, we can hold sexual trauma there. I'm not saying that that's what it is, if that resonates. Stories aren't so important with the work that I do. Getting the discordant frequencies out is what's most important. Getting you into alignment of more of who you are. But if I get those downloads, I will share those. I think we move through that. We're at the high heart a bit here. Lower back sacral area. Yeah, we're not yet focusing on the back of the sacral or the lower back area, but definitely feeling it as we're working here in the throat area. Oof. Heavy, heavy. It's not always necessary to have vocalizations, you know. So I haven't really done too much, but I kind of feel them coming up. I just realized, oh, we haven't been vocalizing. A lot of times when I'm working with the throat, obviously, I'm not able to just because throat.
Hada dia maka ale ka ende heki akia unkroku ka kwa kana kara I ka alekta kita katia kuko muampa ana tuko ana kikuka ana kipa yekota ka na tuya kasa ka atua tati kipi yako ako nene ki aki ku nanko tu ku ku na kaya koko e wachu ako koko eswakana ni entre it's a orokana koro ni wako ni spisa kamati inizia in cubo pratici sia tsaratusa fra mi mat on beperati tu sieta praktiki makra tu arishanati ariza suprasi fahenso mahatsva tatata imereki puanti multuma parti koskuchia pa farati mahatsuna kuraki anu karwi tani mut arisha reti benimanu damaro doniere kwak. Now we're focusing. Well, yeah, it's definitely connected to the reproductive organs. So there may be a very, you may have a very emotional response. So, honor your emotions. Is what I recommend, because that's a lot of times what's being held in the field, what creates the issues to begin with. So if you can honor them, that's best. We're trying to do our best to also assist you in releasing them. So that's what all yawning, burping, and gagging, dry heaving's about. Yeah. Already feeling a lot lighter here. Still the back of the sacral. We're working a bit more on the front of the sacral and the reproductive organs. I would recommend, if you haven't used my shielding tech before, I recommend to search for tile heals and then like shield. I recommend to do that daily for some time. It's good practice for everybody, but I would recommend that for you, or another shielding practice that works for you. But yeah, different. How would you say? So when we go through experiences in our lives, obviously we're familiar with the idea of free will, but we don't always understand what that means. It's not like you have freedom to do what you want. Obviously, like, you can do what you want, but it's more like free will to have experiences in the ways that you design for yourself, and how we feel and what we choose to focus on, and what our experiences that we choose to have. We essentially create contracts and connections with other forms of energy, call them entities or aspects, beings that help us with those experiences. So sometimes when we have, really difficult experiences, we will be contracted, because we're always in power, be contracted to work with certain energies that essentially feed off it. They help to make that experience real, right? The experience, like the spirit of, pain, like spirits of pain, or like, the shadow aspects of, fear or doubt, or, all these kind of ideas, and they play out as different types of entities or whatever. And so when we're out of alignment and we're in some aspects of suffering, there's a contract going on where they kind of can feed on that, right? It's like we go through it so they can help us create the experience of pain and distortion, so we can go through things, so we can develop stronger. So sometimes that's what happens. And so this stuff just helps you reaffirm through free will that, I'm good on this. I've used these energies enough. Now I don't need that type of energy to assist me feel shittier, So, I've learned what I've needed to, that my contract with the negative energies are done. And those type of shielding techs can be one way to really help affirm that. Good. Confirm. All right, move on. All right, so we're gonna do a grounding code for you. And then we're gonna take that golden sphere, that healing code, we're gonna place it in your heart, or give it to your higher consciousness, and they can place it in the heart if they want. And you can guide that towards a specific intention, or whatever is for your highest good at this time. Those healing frequencies are gonna continue on. We're good.
and we're good. So we're gonna scrub out the hologram we were working on, and I would love to see how you're feeling when you come back there, Robyn. Take your time. If you're going through a process, I recommend to honor that process. Greetings to anybody new here. Hi Tracy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Sorry if I missed questions, or if anybody has any questions. Grateful to you. So sorry, got sick, crying a bit. Yeah, that's what I felt, Robyn. So allow yourself to go through that process. Honor yourself. A lot can come up to the surface. It's kind of like pulling a plug on things. So a lot can come up, honor your emotions and whatever you're experiencing, especially over the next days, drink lots of water, be kind to yourself. The healing, especially with this type of healing, can go on in the dream states too. So you may have interesting dreams. You may see me or something that represents the idea of me working with you to continue the healing as well. Spillover was effective as well. Yeah, Debbie, isn't that amazing how that works out? How others can receive a lot. It's just beautiful, It's like how we are all connected is just so beautiful. And unfortunately, humans are so conditioned and programmed to think so limited. That's the biggest psyop on the planet, is to think that you can't do stuff, to program things into us where we think that things aren't possible. Hey, Michelle, thank you. So yeah, that's what's crazy, is if you don't believe that things are possible, or you can't do this, or whatever it is, you're going to be right, because that's how consciousness works. It's going to create an experience where that is shown to you. Do I believe in Jesus? Yeah, I believe in everything. Doesn't mean I choose to experience in my reality, but yeah, Jeshua he's a dope. I work with I work with Christic energies, so that would be considered, if you want to consider that Christ consciousness, that is what Jesus represents. He's an embodiment of a Christ. And what's beautiful about the human template and what he was here to show us is that we are all embodiments of Christ. The human has the ability to hold a 12-strand DNA template, which is considered unity consciousness. That is Christ consciousness. And it can actually go up from there too. There's, that's the baseline. That's where we should be, and we can choose to have experiences from that place, but we haven't had a choice. So I absolutely, Jesus is my homie. I love him. He loves to party. He's got a great sense of humor. But there's so many different Jesuses too. So there's the version of Jesus that's the Catholics version, which is, valid, the one that's on, going through all the suffering and all that stuff. There's just different forms. They're different expressions. Hi, Tina. How are you? Oneness, absolutely. Harmony. That's what it's about. He's amazing because he was here to teach us who we are, help us remember who we are, and seeing that through him. And he's amazing. There's a lot that's been hidden and a lot that's been manipulated related to that. So it's it's part of our human story. He's an aspect of us. That's why a lot of people will do a lot of psychedelics and then think they are Jesus, because in truth, in a lot of ways they are, and we can play different roles. Sometimes we've actually played those roles. Like you wore the costume. Like it's kind of like a character in some ways, where there's certain versions, but he's a certain very magical being. Absolutely, Bev. All right, so Angela's going to be up next. Just want to make sure you're still here. I like doing this. Stace, I like doing this. Doesn't wear me out saying. Do I read the Bible? I don't read it actively. I have read the Bible before, and I've read a couple. There's a lot of Bibles. There's thousands of versions, so I'm not sure which one. And they all are very different. They're all translations, and they kind of contradict each other. So I'm not a big follower of the Bible per se. I feel that there's a ton of truth in it, but I feel when there's a lot of truth in things, there's opportunity for people that control those ideas, that the release and expression of that truth, to manipulate little pieces so that it feels much different. So it changes it altogether. But there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of love in it. Do I believe God created me? That's a perspective. That's one perspective that we can have. Hi, Vin. How you doing, brother? I think what God is to me, the way that I perceive God, you cannot describe it. I mean, I can't even describe 5-dimensional geometry to people. And what God is, to me, is the expression of all. It is, or even the one. Like it's an experience with. You can have experiences within God. I think we are an aspect of God. We're a fractal of God. We're not God itself because it's impossible, because we can't. We're not everything. Everything is a paradox. We are everything and we're not at the same time, which is a beautiful paradox to have. So that's just my personal perspective. You know, I think people have their own perspectives on that, and I think that's kind of the point too, is that we all are our own unique perspective of all that is. If I die today, where do you think I'm going? I ain't going nowhere. My body would just change. You know, nothing is changed. I mean, that nothing truly leaves, nothing truly dies. We can call it death, but it's just a change of a suit. It's a frequency shift. Where this is a costume that I'm wearing in order to have an experience in this physical reality that we call whatever you want to call it. You know, and so I already exist in all these other experiences. So I'm already in heaven, if you want to call it heaven. It's all happening all here and now. I'm also often in hell too. It's the same, or what you want to call hell, the underworld and stuff. There's just different experiences of perspective through frequency. Yeah, we are not our bodies. They're like a spacesuit. They're a way for us to experience reality. No, I think it's okay, Pamela. I actually appreciate it. If I cared for it, or if I didn't care for it, I wouldn't answer. So I actually appreciate the opportunity to share my perspective on that stuff. You know, it's just my perspective. It's my personal truth. It's not what is true. I can't possibly express what is true because that's ineffable. We can't perceive what is true because it's just too much for us. But it's one way of perceiving what's true through my personal truth. So yeah, it's just a way to interface. And I think that, you know, if other people may have completely different perspectives, and in my faith, in the way that I perceive reality, everybody else is valid in theirs. And I think that's where we have issues, especially as a human family, is when we think that our way is the only way, and then we try to project that onto other people. That's where I think we have a lot of conflict and a lot of suffering, and we have a lot of issues. I think for the most part, people are wanting to perceive the same idea. They're just communicating it in different ways, and there's a lot of miscommunication on this planet, especially on this planet. All right, Angela, you are up next. Are you here? Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm honored to be able to express it. For the highest good. Okay, awesome. So just as a reminder, what we're doing today is we're doing personalized healings, doing quantum healing. So if you've been here before, thank you, Jen, in the past, we have done different transmissions, and those transmissions are like healing, activation, upgrade, and combinations of that. So it's really intense, and there's so much going on, and it can integrate over time, and like it's really intense on me as well. I wanted to do something a little different. So we're focusing on, you know, results. So we're focusing on mental, emotional, physical healing. And so Angela has chosen to focus on whatever's for her highest good. So I'm going to go through and we're going to assist with that. But there is energetic spillover for everybody. So I'm never doing the healing. I'm helping facilitate the experience where the healing is stimulated within the person that says, hey, this is a great idea, and I want to have this experience with you to give permission to myself to heal this, you know? So which I'm honored to be a part of that process. But this can be stimulated in others as well. Even if I'm focusing on Angela, other people that have similar issues, they can use these codes, this energy to heal themselves. So that's what we're doing. All right, just reaffirming that no harm will be done, no energy will be taken, is not freely given out of love. It'll be in alignment for the highest good of all only. Only those that are open to receive will receive, and only what's meant for them. And we're only working with energies, aspects, codes that are in alignment to the sacred law of love. So only organic, the highest light codes, any aspects. Even I'm working directly with the highest self for the recipients, but they sometimes will choose to work with energies or aspects that are not in alignment with my perception or the highest good of all. So these are parameters that I set, and then we'll rock and roll. So I'm just gonna create a hologram here I can reference. Plug in some healing frequencies. We're going to place a code in your heart. We're going to blast your heart with love. We're going to ask these to flow for the whole session. All right, any pre-programmed codes? You good? Okay. And then Kim is after. So working a bit here with the third eye. Slow it down, guys. Going on in the head. I don't know if you get headaches, but there's a lot going on, especially in the front of the head, or at least that's what we're focusing. To me, I don't know if my eyes are just sensitive right now, but it almost feels like my eyes too. But yeah, definitely the head. It would make sense if it's like headaches or migraines or something, because my eyes are really like feeling it a lot in my eyes and in my head right now, almost like I have one. And I get, when I've had my migraines, I get them through the eyes a lot, so I think that's kind of what's being communicated. I don't know if that's true or not for you, but it's kind of what I'm feeling right now. And a lot in the head. Oof. Okay, slow down, guys. It's giving me a headache. I think that's the point. It is headache stuff, I think. Hopefully, if you are experiencing a headache right now, Angie, just try to relax as much as possible. It's tough with headaches because if you like put your awareness into it more, you can actually like create more pressure and more energy. So maybe just really focus on like how the bottom of your feet feels, or think about the earth. You know, just become really present that you are on a planet and you're a human being and you're connected with the earth. All right, there we go. Big release. Parati pakun kota yakura tapasifra sandori wasati arutu pafarati pashando kukuwe wenenaki aratara. Kide andara usaro wasem ashuati swatareatu ratitu sampu kwakna. Ki wayendu andan tambro sofaid ende hema. Te pia udi wasa ko awala lamanya to ite endine. Kiru tui ta waku ko ratu ku arati sifra sambro tapasafara itu kutari ingara yasaki. DC ya tambura fa tatu ertefia foku ko mankora na hatu ichwa takala kihana. Kimatu, I can hear some people's thoughts. I'll explain here in a second. Dakina hadu atama ni se frasiko ka ngore ka pakine ki wakania. Ki proso fa si har te pasa fasu unsu wa te bilanshu ki maki. Yekimo ku hatu roko ambura papasina people shwatswatina kututa. So we're working a lot here on the neck here as well. Ramuksuke akvareshi masita ta usure yamanya na ge out how rate masifra shiki ankine. Dikiene ku aswa. Che prassi facchindo dopo la fusa facta passi prashito. Rende si alzare da sua tro. Yeah, just become really aware of the earth beneath you, because it really helps release this stuff. Maybe really like, I don't know if you practice grounding consciously, but look into some earthing, or you know, I know it's really cliche that people always talk about grounding, but it's really important because it's like if a battery doesn't have a ground to it, you know, it can cause serious issues, or because things can short out. And so I would look into that, the idea of earthing, like even like I don't want to mess this up, but I even have an earthing mat underneath me. So this is like my bare feet are on, that helps me stay connected to the earth through the grounds, through the house. It's not perfect. Nature is always the best. But if you get lots of headaches, maybe that's connected. Sometimes if we have issues releasing energy, and it really helps. There's a pretty good documentary out there. I can't remember the name of it. I think it might be Earthing, or goes into some of the science behind it. But there's a lot of scientists that it was proposed to, they want to do these studies, and a lot of scientists like scoffed, and because their results are incredible, and they kind of scoff at it, which is funny because scientists love to think that they know shit when they, don't get me started. But then they reluctantly agreed to the studies, and then were super surprised at all the results. It's like, dude, it's so basic, like duh, that I'm shocked that like the top people don't realize it. It's like we're electromagnetic beings. You know, everything is like electricity and magnetics and the earth and ground. Like electronics, you need a ground. Like, come on. But a lot of things are backwards right now. For those that are new, my name is Ty. I go by Ty L, which is the designation that I've given to the collective version of me. So all of my higher selves embodied, so expressed through the lens of my ego structure that I call, that is Ty. It's me. I'd be considered a quantum healer. I'm just, you know, I'm not huge on labels, but if one is accurate, most accurate, probably is quantum architect, which means that I specialize in working with energetic structures, sacred geometry, essentially. Everything is geometry. Everything exists at a template level before it gets expressed into physicality, or even more subtle. So energy and experiences get expressed through templates, through geometry. So if we affect things at a geometric level, that translates into physicality, and we can use it for things like healing. So we use it for healing, we use it for a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's what we're focusing on today. We use a tool called light language, or light linguistics. I like to refer to it as linguistics because there's different expressions of it. So I'm using my hands to manipulate frequencies and essentially express these geometric forms that we call light codes. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, there's all the streaming codes and all this geometry. That's essentially emulating the idea of light language, light codes. Because we exist in a matrix. Matrix is just an environment into which we have experiences. There are certain parameters and rules that we set up to have experiences within. Working with Angie right now, focusing a bit on the throat, releasing, still a lot in the neck and head area. Again, if you're feeling any kind of intensity, Angie, just relax as much as possible. Again, you don't have to watch me. Feel your body. If you have emotions come to the surface, I recommend to honor those emotions. Anybody as well, because this is, there's energetic spillover. So I'm never healing anybody. I'm holding space for a certain expression of energies and frequencies and codes that are chosen through consent in order to be emulated in other people as well. So Angie is consenting to have an experience where it looks like I'm healing her, but I'm not. It's just assisting her and helping to heal herself. A lot with the third eye. The eyes and the third eye. So the funny sounds that I make, what sounds like different languages. It's a multi-dimensional tool to affect energetic structures. It's not that it's so much directly translatable, it's more about like pure frequency. It's actually more like sounds represent certain geometric forms. So when I make sounds, it's like a way of delivering these codes, these geometric forms. Here comes the release.
Karatis rotor chafasima tak 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 fish was na very tuya na war imorshari and kasuri parachi peshi ambasata that parto bien cara yato wishandar yatam bakukau. Just a little bit more here at the sacral that we're working on. Good. Confirm. Move on. All right, we're gonna use a grounding code for you. On the root, we're gonna ground you into higher density, and then we're gonna gift you that code that you can use towards whichever intention you like for healing. Otherwise, it's just gonna go where it's needed most. Good, confirm. All right, and I'm gonna scrub out your hologram that we're working on, and you are all set to come back when you feel ready. If you're going through a process, Angie, I would recommend to honor that process. No need to rush back and let us know how you're doing. Just really honor whatever it is that you're experiencing. But I would love to hear feedback. Let you know how you're doing. It helps other people as well to know, oh wait, I felt that too, or that's kind of something I experienced. And thank you so much for the hearts, everyone. Liking the video is a great way to exchange energy because it helps to show the video to more people and new people. And you never know who might find this, has never found it before, and have a profound awakening experience from it, or be new to it, and then that can help them connect with more of self, and that is a way to benefit all of us, and maybe find healing for them as well. So, thank you for all the hearts, everyone. I love you. Hi from Oklahoma. Hi, Raina. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Joanne. Burping for the Lord. I love that. I know, I can't, I'm sorry. Indigestion, not just Christ. I like that. First time here, hi. Welcome, Unetti. Hi, Chili from Cooper. Just found it 20 minutes ago. Welcome, Ducky. So happy to have you here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Xtina says, it's amazing what I find on TikTok, right? That's why I really liked TikTok, is because I was the first time I got on TikTok and saw the lives, it was like a sideshow in the best way possible. Everybody was just so different doing their own thing. And on TikTok, you're rewarded for being authentic. People want to see who people are and be their authentic self. So, which is a perfect place. Oops. Okay. We'll get here real quick. We'll get you. Let me just make sure I'm grounded real quick, Kim, and then we got you. I need just maybe 30 seconds more. Dash says, had my awakening in October 2021, and your TikTok's definitely a trigger. That's amazing. I'm honored to be part of your process because it's all you. I'm honored to be part of that process. Hi, Empress. Drawn to learning about light language. Well, Sunshine, we have a light linguistics class coming up. So it got delayed a week. So we have that next Sunday. If you're interested, you can find out more in the link in my bio. Oh, yeah, the universe always supplies, Ducky. All right. Good. All right, we're ready to go, Kim. So I will post this after. Same with everybody that did receive today. I'm going to post this on YouTube afterwards. Hopefully the sound is synced and stuff. I apologize if not. That doesn't mean that it won't work again, but just hopefully that gets fixed. I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm looking into stuff. I've looked up some different ideas, and I think I might have found one, so I can't remember if it worked or not, but I'll try again. All right, so we're just reaffirming, no harm will be done, no energy will be taken that is not freely given out of love. It will be in alignment with the highest good of all only. Only those that are open to receive will receive, and only what's meant for them. And we're only working with codes, aspects, entities, energies that are in alignment to the highest, or to the highest good of all, of course, but in alignment to the sacred law of love. So
So only organic coding and working with the highest light only. I'm working with the highest self only, but sometimes they get entangled with other things, and that's not what we're working with today. All right, Cam. Okay, keep wakando karagiaswara. We'll see what comes through for you. Going to the third eye as well. Yeah, working a lot with the third eye, the actual energy center. Ah, man, these headaches. Release there. Sorry, I apologize for burping. If you're new to, excuse me, this stuff. It's a good sign though. It's a way to help to release energy. So a lot of times people, back of the neck. Again, back of the sacral, back of the neck, third eye. Throat. Right ear. Working some, the front of the sacral, and I guess the back too, and the root area, that whole like base. Oof. Left knee, so it could be associated with some ancestral stuff. really focusing here on the back of the sacral area, lower back. Connect to the throat. Oh, this could be deep. You may have emotional release on your side, you know, honor whatever it is. Apologize. Really heavy stuff. Heart. Deeply connected to the heart. Pain in the heart. Wow, it's gonna be really helpful. Sometimes we don't realize what's holding us down or holding us back. There's some things that like you can pull the plug on, like pulling the cork, and like a whole bunch of pieces will come into alignment. Feel a lot better. Sometimes it's just like one or two things that if we can shift those, we can really shift a lot. Sura pura mahatu otu kama kura kiri sa tipo sa a no na ma nani nini kuri kuru kara bas tava turu mara tura ura tiro kus kepe pitch os of akra na ta ta ni ki a la ta ribusha ta indere sa hati mahate de se harati nani lugre ki mir kure pele kudir busa parata base vere gena kutori pero ki mro kudere ki mro kudali para gena ke severa sota antara ki antara ne torri ma sota rishati sa prashia tariesa na ta wer hadi Ibrahim sorry para dia pasal dan kira kudene kita bana kita kata negara yang kemudian mro kudere busa parata para imra kita kita ni betul ni betul betul ni kalau di prosa para ki pro kutu ka maruto para kita para busa para posa para kan kita hino pe manen kunene ki wori anda da tutte le assuti per la fibra ci fai sa puotare il pasce a sari suri to posso fare timar da cosa per che recta che ne che di ne che di blocco da posso fare per pisma shu ti vuoi shu ne da posso fare di per da posso fare di che non cara che su qui braki no ta che può la sua dieta cosa farà ti pasce che cada ringa che rico beh tu shuman tu sarà si fare da perché imar kudere passi per con bere auto pa in de che ti sa dieta Work? Confirm? We good? Confirm? We want? All right. So I know grounding code for you. And then we're going to gift you that code for whatever intention you'd like for healing. Still releasing a bit here. A lot coming out from the heart. Let it out. Lean in. Let it out. right, we're gonna scrub out your hologram. And you are all set. Hopefully, you were able to receive that, Kim. I mean, hopefully you're still here. If so, let us know how you're feeling. Carl, I'd be happy to answer questions. I know it's a hard thing for you to conceptualize, mostly because of programming, and that's not your fault, man. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I know it's far out stuff. I'm in no illusion that it's weird. So I'm happy to answer questions. Yeah, so what we are doing here today is we are doing, it's called, you can call it all sorts of stuff. It's a form of energy healing. We call it quantum healing. It's just fancy words, but really what we're doing is we're working on things at a template level of reality. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. Everything is vibration. We know this. Even if you look at an atom, you zoom into it, it's mostly space. And even when it's not space, it's still just magnetic fields. So everything is energy and frequency. And that gets expressed because of its quantum templates. So actually everything exists as geometry. And so this is a way of affecting things at a geometric level. So sound creates form, and form expresses light, and light is the substance in which we have our physical experiences. And this is a form of healing. So I use a tool that's called light language or light linguistics, which is, it's a multidimensional tool that affects these energetic structures. So it might sound like a lot of funny sounds in what sounds like weird languages, but that's not what's important. It's more about the frequency that is behind it and what data it actually expresses, because light is information, light is data. So when we're talking about light language or light linguistics, what we're talking about is an exchange of information. And this information is multidimensional code. It's geometric forms that is delivered through different means. So I'm essentially playing my energy field like an instrument. So each finger is connected to a different harmonic, is connected throughout the different systems of the body. So when I'm moving my fingers around, people call them mudras. It's a way of playing the energy like music. And since we're just sound, we're frequency and vibration. So we can use this tool to shift energies from the field and to restructure our energy bodies, because we are more than just a physical body. That's one structure, but we also have subtle bodies, which people might call light bodies, or we have actually a whole bunch of different ones. So if we affect things at an energetic level, it gets translated into physicality. So we use it for healing. So we can shift discordant frequencies from the energy field. So a lot of times what happens, we get sick or we have injuries or we have stuff come up into our physical reality because first it starts as a thought. It starts as a thought, and that thought will create a feeling. It will create a belief. That belief creates a feeling. And that feeling is what will be shown to us. That belief will be shown to us in our reality. And a lot of times we'll experience it as emotions. And oftentimes we're taught, or not taught rather, that to experience our emotions. Emotion is meant to be energy in motion. And so if we don't process these emotions, we store them for later. So we'll identify some emotions as negative, right? Anger or crying or whatever. And if we don't allow that energy to move through our body when it's happening, we will end up storing it in our body and in our energy field. And that creates dis-ease in the energy flow. And if we store up enough of these negative emotions in certain areas of our field and in our body, that's what happens. We get like pain, we get conditions, we get sick. And so this is a tool. There's many different tools, but this is one tool, one permission slip that you can have in your experience to shift out these frequencies, these energies, and to help release these emotions so that your body can naturally heal like it's supposed to. It gets in alignment. When everything's in alignment, you are feeling good. We are music, the universe, the one song. We each are our own unique song in this big universal song. And that song is perfect. Each of us has a perfect song. Thank you so much. Nobody has music like our music is, but the problem is a lot of times we have a hard time hearing our own unique song because there's all the noise in our song. And that noise is trauma, it's stuck emotions, it's sometimes other people's noise, other people's song in our music. So healing to me is really about shifting out these discordant frequencies that we hold in our body and in our field so that we can hear our own music, so we can be who we are. We can be our unique expression of the universe. But yeah, does that make sense? Thank you. Thank you for all the gifts and the hearts. Did we get to hear from Kim? Oh no, Tickle, you're in the hospital. We're sending lots of love. Hi, Veronica in Sweden. Hello. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sharon says, but how does that connect to us when you do this instead of us doing it? So when I'm doing healing, when I'm doing this work, it is essentially stimulating a frequency that you, the recipient, can choose to emulate for themselves. So it's like performing and writing a healing song. So I'm writing and performing a healing song, creating this music for one specific person in the room. We all know music can be healing. We can have emotional responses to music, right? We can dance to it. We know when a song is scary or happy, upbeat, or inspirational, or whatever it is. We can feel the emotion in the song, even if it doesn't have lyrics. And even if it has lyrics, we may interpret those lyrics dramatically different between each other. So we're performing a healing song that's unique for one specific person. Usually, sometimes we don't, but sometimes it's for one specific person, and so that has the music that vibes with that person, right? They like it could be country, the analogy. It could be country or hip hop or whatever. That person that's right music for them, and the lyrics are written for them, so that they really resonate with those lyrics. But that doesn't mean other people in the room don't hear those lyrics. They don't hear the music, right? They can choose to dance to the music. They can choose to have an emotional response to the music, to resonate with that music. So in that way, that's what's taking place. We are more than just physical beings. There's a whole lot of data and information that's constantly being exchanged. And for those that are open to receive, they can emulate that within themselves. And that's why other people will have healing on their side as well. It's all energy. People call it energy, but this is just a more multidimensional way of perceiving energy. It's like Reiki on steroids. I don't know. Is my music rock and roll? It might be. It's probably even more beautiful, but we actually have great music here on Earth. Thank you, Corrine. Thank you, Ravel. If I probably mispronounced that. Allison's title, working on one person, other people benefit. Yes. Yep. When we work on one person, other people benefit. That's why we do it in this space. How do we figure out who we are if the trauma happened in early childhood? Yes, that's a huge part of the healing process, is to address these traumas that happen often in childhood. A lot of our traumas that play out through the rest of our lives took place before the age of 7. That's when a lot of these things really anchor in. That's when our energy centers are really developing, and when we essentially create programs that are out of alignment in our field and in our beingness that will play out in loops and cycles. And so those will play out over the years in different situations, right? So I like to say there's like the same kind of core frequency or experience, but wears different costumes to show us it in different ways, so that we can choose to heal eventually if we want, or we can continue to have these experiences that show us who we are. And a lot of times it's showing us that we're out of alignment, especially when we have trauma, we're not feeling good, and these type of ideas. And a lot of that takes place in childhood. So we hold that information in our energy field and in our body. So people like myself, and there's millions of other healers that all have their own way of doing things, but a lot of times it's getting to that core wounding. It can happen in childhood, and actually can even happen in other quantum spaces. So all lives, hear about past lives or whatever, it's all happening here and now. Everything is just separated by a different frequency range. So sometimes it's about healing that in different frequency ranges. But releasing that trauma, it's held in the body, and so you can work with people like myself that can help you release that. If that makes sense. Did that make sense to you? What could left knee pain be related to? Well, the knees are a lot about, they can be ancestral, but let's go ahead. I got this beautiful book here. This is a little shorter read. This book is called The Secret Language of Your Body. So everything in our body represents something. So I'm actually doing a video series on this very soon. But let me just see what this book says. Your sinuses. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Knees, okay. Did we say the right knee or the left knee? Left knee, I think, well, let's read it just for the sake. So possible contributing factors for the knees: control, blame. So these are the core emotions that are held within the knees. Control, blame, judgment, anger, resentment, frustration, inflexibility, feeling stuck, difficulty dealing with a person, issue, or situation from the past, confusion, frozen desires and unfulfilled dreams, unresolved family issues, difficulty making decisions and keeping commitments, fear of moving forward, great need to know what will happen next. And the right knee is issues with a significant male in your life, a father, brother, uncle, and so on. Difficulty moving forward in your career, limited thinking, fear of failure, asking yourself, where am I inflexible in my life? The left knee, issues with a mother, sister, aunt, or significant female in your life. Holding on to sadness, hurt, and loss from the past. Feeling like a victim, constant criticism, holding yourself back. The remedy is stand. Ask yourself, am I willing to let go of controlling, blaming, and judging myself and others? Can I give myself permission to move forward with trust, love, and certainty? And then it goes on in more depth. But did that resonate? Blood pressure problems, that's the circulatory system. And so a lot of times it's about aspects of the heart rate. So the circulatory system is what carries nutrients through our body. It carries life force energy throughout our being. And so, it begins to break down when you hold on to anger, fear, self-loathing, criticism, disappointment, heartbreak, or a loss of confidence. And it's important to practice how to give and receive to bring healing into it. But that's just the circulatory system in general. So it can vary based on specifics too. So like blood pressure, but I won't read every entry on the book. But you feel free to look into it more yourself. I think that's the whole idea. That's really what I'm trying to encourage people to do, is take a look. Oh, IR Meep says this got rid of my migraine. I feel really light and fuzzy. Yay, that's the idea. That's why we do it. But I would recommend to look into these books. So The Secret Language of Your Body. I know it's backwards. Secret Language of Your Body, which is it's a shorter read. It's a little more sharp and to the point, which is nice. And then this one is Metaphysical Anatomy. Your body is speaking. Are you listening? And this one's a lot thicker. So this has a lot of specific conditions, a lot of specific ailments, and it goes into detail on those. So yeah, if you can't get the name for these, you can go ahead and send me a message and I will give you the link, or I will give you the title for it. But yeah, just look into it more yourself. Like, that's the idea, is recognize that everything in your body, everything in your energy field and your reality represents something within you. And things that feel out of alignment in your reality are things that are out of alignment within you. And so look into it. Like, you can Google it, like find what resonates, like look into these different things, because that's going to give an opportunity for your higher self, if you want to call them your different aspects of yourself or guides. They can help you along that path and help you, bring you to things that will authentically help you remember more of who you are, instead of just me telling you. Because the idea is to find these things for yourself in an organic way that's going to help you remember for yourself. All right. I think we missed. We didn't get Kim, did we? She probably had to leave. Bummer. Hope she's feeling okay. That was a good one. How about severe asthma? Book is in a seagull. That's right, McCall. Most welcome, Yi. All right. Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions? I might jump off here pretty soon. I need to eat and drink more water. But I'll probably be doing more of these just because I like this. I like this format. Usually I do transmissions that are like a combination. So I can fit a lot in a short amount of time. And I usually go a little bit too hard, but I like that. But the way that I do it is people don't always recognize what they're getting per se. Like, so in this format, people can set an intention if you want to work on something specific, or everybody today wanted to work on whatever is for their highest good, but you can set a specific intention. Like if you have a really bad knee issue or you know some kind of illness, we can really focus on that and see what comes through. But I think it's a really fun way because then we can talk about healing and it just seems like fun. Allison, how do we find to help us with medical issues? Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was just talking about. I would look into the emotional sources for what's going on with your medical issues. Everything physical is something metaphysical, has a metaphysical source. So those books are really helpful for that. Angie says, I just finished up whatever was happening. My head feels so much better, but my head feels... Okay. So yeah, okay, so you just got done processing everything? Welcome back, Angie. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a little intense. There's a lot of head stuff. You were having head issues? Do you have headaches and such? Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, no worries. I'm not sure what you're apologizing for, Jin, but no worries. Yeah, liver is a lot about anger. A lot of times it's about anger, but there's more to it too. There's a lot of subtleties and yeah. But yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna jump off, everyone. I love you and I appreciate you. I'm gonna do my little plugs. I sell these bracelets, so these are one of my favorite technologies. It's a technology, not just a bracelet. It's really designed to be a technology first and foremost, and then if it looks cool, that's a secondary aspect to it. But it has shungite, it's got silver, and it's got copper and selenite. So shungite is my favorite mineral. It's got these little energetic structures called buckyballs or fullerenes or 60s. They're like soccer ball shaped things that actually take negative frequencies. Like a negative frequency or negative energy is something that has a quantum spin that's counterclockwise. So it pulls our life force energy from us. It creates toxic things do this. So these little structures, the people that discovered these structures won the Nobel Prize for it in the 90s. So they're trying to create all sorts of physical technologies using it, but this is the only place that they know of to get it organically. So the natural source of it. So these little structures help to attenuate negative frequencies. So it's great for like Wi-Fi and EMF and for people who are really sensitive because it essentially helps with that. It neutralizes the harmful effects, or most of it. There's still, you don't want to be sitting in, the fire. You want to get out of the fire if you can. But when you add a healing frequency to it, silver is known to be a healing frequency. That's why we eat with silverware, because it's naturally antimicrobial, antibacterial, and it's got a lot of other energetic properties. The properties energetically is what's most important. But when you combine that with the shungite, it starts to create a healing field, especially when you put energy through it. So you are energy, right? Your body produces energy, life force energy, and as it moves through, it actually starts to produce a healing field for you using your own energy. It also protects, so it's an EMF protection and a healing tool. It's got copper in it as well. Now the copper is also a wonderful healing metal because it's really good for the circulatory system. It helps to move blood through the system, helps to move life force energy through the system. So that helps you move your energy through better too. So not only does it help to create that healing, it helps to move your energy through so it can intensify that effect. Same idea with selenite or satin spar. Now satin spar it's a stone that is sometimes considered to be self-clearing and self-charging. A lot of times people use it to clear other stones or to charge other stones. You'll see it in like shapes like knives and such, or like wands, because people brush with it instead of like saging, because it has a really high frequency, a really good healing frequency to it. So all together, these create essentially healing technology. It's a quantum healing technology, but it's a bracelet too. So if you're interested in that, you can find out more information on that pinned from Anna Pin, which is islingmagic.com, or you can go to the link in my bio. Same thing with like one-on-ones if you're interested in one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones if you like the healing tonight and you want to have some focused healing or activate. Really what I specialize in most is helping people to embody their highest self as quickly as possible. So higher self-integration. But for the most part, that looks like a lot of healing. We're releasing what we're not so we can be more of who we are. But activations and upgrades are part of that. Activating people's gifts, helping people remember who they are and whatever abilities they have, all that kind of stuff. It's all you anyway. But that's something that I kind of specialize in. And we just started doing classes, so I do my best to share my perspective. I don't like to call it teaching, but share some of my perspectives and ideas. And the class, we actually had to reschedule the light linguistics class because sometimes we get our butts kicked and we're not able to do work. And so we moved that to next Sunday, October 8th. And so there's actually still time to sign up if people want to jump in on the class. It actually ended up being a good thing because a lot of people were getting their butts kicked. So glad that it worked out that way. And what else? I think is that I did just put up upgrades. So each month we're doing upgrades. So group upgrades. We're doing a Zoom event each month. We did last month. Last month I did it again. Last month was just like overall like upgrades, like all overall upgrades, which it was a bit too much on me. I kind of was like whatever their higher selves wants, and there was a whole bunch that came through, which was awesome. It was really powerful. But this next one we're doing is focusing. The next one we are doing is going to be focused on upgrades and activations for the clairs of clairaudience and clairvoyance. So working on psychic sense and psychic hearing. So that's going to be the intentions that we focus on. So it's not so I don't have to get cooked so much. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. But if you're interested in that, the link in my bio. We're going to be doing that each month, and yeah, you can sign up for that. And if you can't make it live, the recording is available, and it's just as powerful. This stuff happens outside of the limitations of space-time, and you can go back and play it again and again. It can really help go deeper and deeper. I think that's it. I think I did all my blah, blah, blah. Anybody have any questions before I let everybody go? Any last itching questions? I just want to say thank you to everybody that gifted and everybody that received and everybody for being here and just being yourself. And I love you so much. We're part of a human family. We're all family. I love you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Tina. Thank you to any new subscribers. I know we had some new subscribers. Oh, stop it. Stop. How did you get so awesome? And big thank you to my moderators as well. They do a ton of work. Yes. But yeah, so yeah, thank you to everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you already to the subscribers. Y'all mean so much. I think that's it. I love you too, Amanda. Good to see you. Bro would fail. Intro to quantum mechanics. Actually, this is a great. Wait, is that homie? Oh, this is a great opportunity for me to articulate what's going on. So QFT is a student, I believe. You can correct me if this is wrong, but a student in quantum mechanics. Now he has put a lot of pressure on because he thinks that I study quantum mechanics. That is not what I do. Quantum mechanics is a way of articulating ideas into physicality from non-physical. So the quantum is the potential in order to express. So that is what I focus on. I focus on the templates that then translate into physicality. So I am not an expert in quantum mechanics. I suck at math. It's not my thing. But I always love to be able to articulate that and allow the people who actually know their shit to help articulate these ideas into ways that we can quantify it, right? Quantify it. But anyway, all right, folks, I love you, and I will see you soon.